if we... Okay, yeah?
I don't know what else we should do.
Well, once I push all that out, pull the little table out, I don't know, how many... If we had to do measurements, how many square feet do you feel like that pocket is over there?
That looks like, what, 8 10 feet?
Yeah. So we get a little 6 to 8 foot table. Like, how big is this table right here? 6 feet?
I would say this is...
Not even 6 feet.
No, this is probably like 5 and a half.
So if we get a 6 foot table, 6-7 foot table, 2 pretty decent chairs off to the side. I want to get one of those perma mics, the mics that are always bolted on there, like the nice ones that have the audio jacks.
Oh shit!
Not this. I'm tired of breaking these fuckers down. I just want to keep them like locked in on there. I got my DBZ poster right there. What would you want to put behind you? Because I want them to signify our shit.
Well, see, in that I don't really have posters.
It doesn't gotta be a poster, just anything that'll signify you. I mean, we can get something, and then how do you want to?
I'll think of something.
We can do it long way, right?
Well, do you want us to sit on either side of the table, or you want us to sit next to each other?
Probably like how we used to do it. How we would be across.
Across.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking for video purposes.
That's what I'm also trying to figure out is if we're gonna be able to.
If you want the videos hitting our faces. We would need 2 cameras, one for you, one for me,
That's
and then a third camera.
So one camera right here, one camera in the kitchen, and then us, one on one side, one on the other side.
We can do it. It's just
it'll be a lot of moving around and stuff like that. But I feel like once I clear all that out, there's more space than it looks like. Sorry guys, we're
brainstorming.
We're brainstorming. I'm pretty excited.
Project Airwaves is evolving.
Yes, 2020,
like a Pokemon.
Like the very second week of 2023. Plan is to get just fully operational with just video content, meaning that we can consistently have you guys looking at our beautiful faces.
No, Lynn just wants all the attention.
Yeah.
He just wants all the attention. I'm ugly.
I'm tired of Darius's beautiful voice.
He's beautiful.
Covering my good looks.
You fucking wish. Okay. All right. Well, now that we've gone past the appetizer, let's jump into the main course. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I'm D.
This is Lynn.
Project Airwaves. We're rock. No, let's not go there. How you doing?
I'm here.
It's December. Sorry we missed you. Hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving.
Do you remember? Oh no, that's September. You know what? There's a commercial where they're saying, "Do you remember the 21st day of December?"
Why?
But it's supposed to be September.
No, stop.
I don't know. It's
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
But it's J.C. Penney's trying to.
That's racial appropriation. Go eat a chode.
Yes. So,
you had some shenanigans pop off for Thanksgiving, sir.
Yeah. So I spoke to most of my family about it already, but where we went to go get tacos? Right over here.
Yeah.
So in that parking lot, there's a liquor store, right?
Oh. It
was Thanksgiving Day. I want to go, and this is, we've got a lot of topics to cover, so I don't even know if we're going to be able to all hit it in one thing.
Give us details.
But Thanksgiving Day, I'm about to go to my dad's. My brother and my uncle are there, and I was going to pick up a bottle of Jameson. Just some whiskey to take over there so we could chill.
Something to sip on.
And the way that liquor store is set up when you walk in, it's interesting.
Ratchet.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I've seen worse liquor stores. The way that this thing is set up is that when you walk in, it looks like a library shelf of just alcohol.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And everything on that side is covered in plexiglass to where even the clerk has to open a plexiglass door like a bank vault to get in there. Obviously, because these places get fucking robbed a lot.
Yeah. Wow.
Now, when you walk in, so if I'm pointing at Dave right now, if I were to walk in straight, everything is on the left.
Yeah.
On the right-hand side, there's aisles that lead to where all the beer is. But all the liquor is up there, and it's any kind of liquor you can get. It's about as good as you're going to get besides going to Lee's Liquor or Total Wine and stuff like that. So I walk in there, and I'm looking to see where the Jameson is, and there's 2 people standing in front of me waiting at the cashier's clerk, the clerk spot. So as I'm walking in, I have my back to a soda machine. Not a soda machine, but like a little Monster energy drink machine. And the aisles, like I'm standing here, the door is right here, and the aisles are right there, and the wall's right there in front of me.
It's real tight.
And I see a vagrant, homeless person, walk in. It's BMA, walks in, and he's kind of like, he power walks in, and just kind of looks around and then pauses and then just looks at me. But he's looking down at my waistline. So I'm like, okay, I've been around vagrants multiple times with work and stuff like that. It's no big deal. So I go to start walking on the other side to see where the bottle is. And I had different levels of Jameson, the smaller one to the bigger ones. And the vagrant is still watching me. He goes down the aisle to circle back around to the other side. And
what
still,
the fuck?
like making it obvious as day that he's looking at me.
Right.
I'm like, okay, whatever. So I go back to where the register is. I put my back against the wall, and he pulls right next to me, hands in pocket, and just keeps doing this. And for the people that are listening, he's looking at my waistline and then looking straight, and then looking at my waistline and looking straight. My keys are on my side.
Yeah.
and I have a little screw thing on there to where it's a clip.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like it locks in the place.
Yeah, so it locks in place so you can't lose it or get pulled off without ripping my fucking pants off.
Yeah.
So I tighten my clip and I stand there and I'm thinking, I'm like, there's no way this guy's this dumb to try and take my shit in
Get the fuck out of here.
I kid you not.
No.
My dad, the girls, they can all vouch for it because like right after this had happened, and I'll follow into the story right afterwards. Right after this had happened, I called them and I talked to my dad and stuff like that. My hands were still shaking. Adrenaline was still pumping. And I explained the whole thing to them, and they're like, dude, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
So as I get ready to walk up to the front, this guy grabs my key and tries to pull.
Uh-huh.
So I dragged, and put my drink down.
Yeah.
I drag his arm across my hip line, and I put my hand on the side of his face.
Right.
Because he's right next to where that little monster machine was.
Mm-hmm.
I push his face in there and pull his arm so he's stuck like this. And he makes like this noise like, and just... like a South Park person when they die, like stuck against the wall, and I can feel how dirty he is because my hand is pushed up
and
against,
it's sticky,
and I'm not trying to hold
nasty.
him for long.
Right.
So I let go of his hand and I kind of push him in front of me, like pretty much smack his face to get him in front of me because I was like, okay, if I'm gonna fight with this guy, head on. I need him head on.
Right.
I can't have him on my side.
Right.
And I'm ready for it. Adrenaline's already pumping. The clerk, the people that are in front of me already left, and the clerk is sitting there watching.
Right.
Like
he's stupefied.
and the beggar just looks at me and goes, and then just runs out the door because the door was right there, and then takes off. So the clerk looks at me and goes, "Do you want me to call the cops?" And I was like, "No." I'm like, "Just let me get my alcohol so I can leave." There's no point because he's not there. I'm saying by the time I bought it and walked outside, and the clerk asked me 3 different times, "You sure don't want me to call the police? Are you fine?" I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm good." My adrenaline was pumping.
Yeah.
I walk out, the guy's gone, just fucking gone.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So when I was talking to the girls about it, and I was talking to my dad, he goes, "Dude, my brother made a point too." Because he had to have seen me walk in.
Yes, he was spotted.
Because to take my keys, you have to know where the car is.
But what the fuck was he gonna do? It's obviously he can't drive.
Get in the car.
I guess.
Lock it, and then wait for me to try and fucking get him out.
I guess.
Because my car, because of how that lot was, there's not a lot of areas to put these cars.
Yes.
So where my car is, there's maybe 4 cars in the lot. And it was middle of the day, mind you, like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Not even. Yeah. It was like 1:30 in the afternoon. So
holy shit.
Yeah. So I mean, it sucked because I kind of tore a little bit of my belt lining.
Yeah.
But it's good that it happened to me. And not somebody that wasn't obviously prepared. Like you did it for the wrong person. It's like attacking John Wick on a not to compare myself to John Wick, but attacking John Wick
fucking dog.
At a fucking grocery store or on a fucking bus, and he has a pencil next to him.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
When I did everything that I did, it's like because I'm so aware, I knew what was coming.
Oh yes.
And what he was doing.
Your spidey senses.
But the only thing that I wasn't aware of is that I didn't feel like someone watched me walk in because I walked in and I'm in a.
Well, I mean,
it's not. You see where it's at. It's not like the best lot.
Yes.
It's like there's nothing in that lot other than a couple things.
Yes.
So
well, and it's one of those things. It's like we talked about in one of the previous episodes. When people don't, and we're not bragging, but when people don't fuck with you for so long, you drop your guard just a little bit. And then you're like, okay, I know if nothing else, if somebody's coming for me, they have to be this strong or this build or, you know what I mean? You're like, your brain makes up scenarios.
Yeah, and when I was in active security working on the casino floor, my nerves were always at a heightened level because I was working 10-hour days on graveyard where it was constant dealing with homeless people, dealing with fights.
Every day.
Where I'm at now, I still train and fight. You've seen the videos.
Yeah.
Like we still have to go. I still actively am in physical contact.
But you're not in danger.
I'm not in danger.
Yes.
It's in a controlled environment where I can go hands-on, and if I wear out or either the student wears out, we stop.
You can just stop.
But when I did it, it moved. So even Noah made a comment. He goes, "Dude, that was like something out of a movie."
Yes.
Because the way that I had done it, or what was it? No, I don't know if it was Noah. It was her brother. When I did it, everything just moved naturally to where he had a grip on my pants, and it wasn't that I was any stronger than him, but I was able to torque his wrist, to bend his arm, so his arm, rather than it being straight, rotated out to where he was already stuck. And that's one of the moves that we teach at work. It's called an arm bar takedown, and it's defensive tactics. You literally have to bar the arm out at an angle.
Yes.
You lock up the wrist, and then you guide him down to the ground.
Well, I don't think people understand the value of jiu-jitsu and kung fu and self-defense. It's because a lot of people, especially attackers and predators, they don't expect you, to know how to defend yourself, and B, they don't expect you to know the moves you know. So that guy was probably expecting you probably just hit him with a few haymakers or something like that.
And him be able to get hit a couple times,
right,
and get my shit.
You completely threw him off his guard.
He pulled my belt enough to try to pull me off balance.
Right,
and I'd already locked my base in strong,
right,
to know that I'm like, all right, you're gonna pull me, but you're not gonna move my body.
And most people aren't prepared for that.
No, so
they don't think that through.
So his reaction when I got him in front of me, I'm thinking, all right, we're gonna square up. But at the end of the day, he has nothing to gain.
Right.
Because my keys are still there. And now if I fuck you up, you have nothing, opposed to had he taken my keys and taken a couple hits from me, he still could have taken off my keys because he was fast. When I came outside, it was within like 30 seconds of me buying the alcohol and walking out the door that this guy was already out of sight.
That's fair.
And I couldn't see where he was.
That's
I'm like,
fair.
Okay, so.
Oh, you ain't catching no crackhead.
No. Just to lump all of that together, like I said, adrenaline was pumping. I was good. Day or two later, I went to the gym with my brother, and I'm starting to put in perspective now. It's crazy. There's three things that I've noticed with this town, and it's not for the better, unfortunately. You know, me and you grown up here pretty much most of our adult life.
Yep.
And it's gotten to the point now where there's three things that I'm seeing that's for how actively outside I am and where I patrol.
It's like a recurring theme.
Is there's a lot more homeless people.
Yes,
a lot.
Unfortunately.
I'm talking, just areas where there never used to be homeless.
Yes.
There's homeless now.
Yes.
There's more pigeons, more birds. If you start to look at the rooftops, even in this complex and other areas, there's so many goddamn birds on top of everything.
Really?
These birds are populating at such a level, and I went to Winco not too long ago. Winco's not in the worst spot.
No.
Right off of Vegas.
On Buffalo? Yeah.
Which is a pretty nice spot.
Very.
It's so destroyed with trash. That was the third
What?
thing. So much trash in that parking lot, which was a nice parking lot at one point.
What?
Where Kmart used to be.
Yeah.
There was so much garbage and trash all over the place, and I was sitting there like, why the fuck is there so much trash? And
that's crazy.
There's no one to clean up the trash as much anymore, and there were so many fucking pigeons that when something dropped on the ground, they just swarm the street.
They're like seagulls.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't ever remember it being like that.
Things. I'm sorry to be a fucking broken record, but times are changing. Times are definitely changing. I was telling my fiance this in the car earlier today. The older we get, the more we see through the bullshit. You know, we took off our rose-colored sunglasses a long time ago, and especially like me and Lynn said, working security, you have to face reality. You have to accept the fact that people are people, and they are capable of doing some of the best stuff and also some of the worst shit. And I'm just thankful that what we have had to encounter through our experiences hasn't been anything super duper life threatening per se. Lynn has had a closer brush with death than I have, but at the same time, it puts you in a headspace where you're like, okay, I realize that I can't just wake up today and expect nothing bad to happen. I can't just pretend like nothing bad happens in the world.
Consistently aware, like even the last little reality check that I had is that I went to EOS with my brother a couple days afterwards. I want to say, yeah, it was a couple days afterwards, and it was the EOS right there on West Alta and Rainbow. There used to be a 24-hour fitness. There's you know what I'm talking about. It was right where I used to live.
Yeah.
Right,
we're Home Depot.
Yes, in that parking lot. So there's an Albertsons in that parking lot, right next
towards
to where,
the end.
Yeah,
yep.
Right where she
Super
used,
X.
She used to work at that pet store. So the one right next to it, right?
Yeah.
So that Albertsons used to be so nice, and I went in there, and it was rough. I was going in there just to get some fruit because I was just craving it after the gym. There were so many vagrants inside there.
What?
Like laying in between the aisles on the floor.
What?
Yeah. There was a busted up BMA, a black male adult, walking up and down the aisles and just staring at people, not doing anything. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's just one homeless guy.
Right.
And then there was a homeless couple, like two tweakers, two white female, a white female and a white male. They were just laying in the fucking ground, just taking fucking boxes of shit off the counter and sitting there eating cereal. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Shit,
and then all the way down near where like the juices were, another fucking one, another homeless guy, just like pants all the way down. You can tell that he had pretty much shit his pants. They were covered and stuff, and he's just talking to himself, staring down at the floor.
I can guess.
So many.
I can theorize why. So the biggest thing is Vegas is rebuilding or regentrification, some people refer to, where all the older parts of Vegas are being torn down, rebuilt, refurbished, making them look new and spotty or spotless. So the homeless are getting kicked out from down there, which were their old stomping grounds.
Yeah, I think
on top of that,
move in itself,
you have inflation, unemployment, COVID, and people not being able to work. So now I would say our number of homeless have damn near doubled since COVID. So you have more homeless people on the street, less places for them to go. It's almost like you could almost say this is how it works with man moving into the animal kingdom. How we keep building and we keep building and we need more land, more land. Well, the more land we take up, that's less land for those creatures, critters, and wildlife to live on. It's the same thing that's happening with the homeless right now. We're rebuilding everything, so it's super nice. And we can't have homeless people over here because this is our brand new shop and all this stuff. So they're going to migrate somewhere else. And now this is where it's at.
They're moving up into the parts of town where we have...
That used to be nice.
Yeah.
And
it's like, how far up do they go? Because if you're looking at as far as construction goes, all the newer parts of town are on the outskirts.
Yes.
Like you got to go towards Blue Diamond. You got to go up towards Centennial. You got to go towards...
They can't make it out that far.
No, they're not going to survive that far. So now we're getting them stuck. We're central.
They're in the inner city.
Yes. We're central. If you had to look at everything, because the strip's more northbound.
Well, I would say so. You hit Summerlin. There's like certain points.
Summerlin's west.
It's almost like Judge Dredd, where Summerlin.
There's sectors.
Yeah, there's sectors of Vegas, but you can tell certain parts of Vegas that the homeless population is under control. So, like, I used to work at Citibank up in the lakes off of Durango and Sahara.
Yeah, I remember that.
There was 2 homeless people. Those were the only 2 homeless people for so long. Everybody that worked at Citibank knew them. Yeah. Like, people would give them food and money and clothes because those were the only 2 homeless people. It's gotten a little bit worse, but not like what you're talking about.
Nowhere near as bad.
Not like, I'm going to walk into Chipotle and there's a homeless person sleeping in the bathroom. No. That's not going to happen.
No.
You know what I mean? So, and it sucks because I don't want to sound snooty. I don't want to sound like I'm too good to like I'm rich and hoity-toity. But it's like we work hard to live a certain lifestyle.
The amount of and I sound like prissy or snobby. It's like where I'm at right now isn't the best spot. I was accustomed to living a little bit farther up. Like anything up, I was good to go.
Yeah.
Now being off, it's like I get aggravated driving in between. Like it was to wrap up this portion of it.
Yeah.
It's getting to the point now where just the area that we're in is getting so bad. Like I was never in certain areas of town where it's like, okay, you know, I'd never thought of myself in a dangerous situation where I couldn't get myself out of it. But it got so bad to where it's like they're in my complex, mind you. There was a white guy that came out, and I could hear him yelling outside. And this was yesterday. I go to walks my window, and I hear him yelling at this like really busted up looking black girl. And he was yelling at her, and I could barely understand, but he was saying stuff like, you know, why were you watching me back my car in or do something like that? And she's like, oh, you know, I fucking wasn't. Don't worry about it. And they were going back and forth, and she said, you know what? I'm gonna go get something out of my car. And he goes, you know what? I'm going to go get something out of my house. So he walks one way and she walks the other way. Right here, right next to where I'm pointing at, there's kids that play in this spot all the time. It annoys the fuck out of me.
A little playground.
Yeah, a little playground for like a bunch of little like baby kids that like to jump around and stuff. Yes.
Yes.
With a really ratchet black lady that lives right underneath there. The rest of the neighbors are okay, but this spot right here is trash. And I'm like, great. They're probably going to come out with guns while these kids are playing. No fucks given. There's a little alley right here in the side.
Yeah.
I hear them still arguing, but I couldn't tell if it was arguing, and not to be racist, but when black people get ghetto, when they're just having a conversation, they're still sounding like they're fighting. And these two, the ratchet black girl and then this older black lady are talking, but they're talking as if they're fighting, but it's just them talking because of how loud they were being.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, it's nothing serious. So I go back to doing what I'm doing, and then 3 minutes pass. I hear the guy come down the hallway, and he's yelling at both of them now. And the kids are right there. And they just start beating the shit out of each other. Both these black ladies are beating the shit out of the white guy. Just going back and forth. And there's kids just standing there. And they're tossing the football back and forth to each other. These kids are probably like...
This is normal, dude. This is normal.
Where it's like, a part of me is like, should I go downstairs and control it?
What's the fucking point?
And then I was just like, no. The fact that these kids are watching this, they're seeing them like beat the shit out of one another, and then they're still playing Foursquare. And
Vegas is turning into Gotham City.
Like, that's exactly it. It was giving me Gotham City vibes. I was like, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah, and they're going to grow up with all these fucked up mindsets.
Rather than moving them into the house knowing that this is going to happen.
Nope,
they're like,
let them watch.
Fucking beat the shit out of this guy with the kids there.
Dude, the world is changing, and we have to change with it, and it's I feel like
adaptivity
is not a word.
It's my word. And I'm sticking to it.
I feel like we're the old people way too early.
Yeah.
Like I was expecting to say these things and have these views when I was 50, 60 years old.
In our 30s, man.
I'm 30 fucking 4, man. And I feel like our time I feel like we were teenagers centuries ago.
Right.
These kids are so far removed. And I'm like, dude, it's only been one generation between us and these kids. And everything's different. But it's not all doom and gloom. It's just you're having to see the world for what it is. This is real life. This is day to day for the average working lower to upper middle class working citizen. This is our day to fucking day. Over near my house, because we live right off the street, like house, sidewalk, street. Fucking Lynn's car got destroyed. They're not psychopaths. What are they? They're kind of off their rockers. They're special. Sociopaths.
Sociopaths, yeah.
They're special, so they're walking up and down the street yelling, asking for money, and causing destruction and havoc, and no one's doing anything because this is normal.
That's normal, yes.
You know what I mean? So I feel like it's Judge Dredd, like or Demolition Man. You know, shit's just happening, and we have to adapt with it. So, like Lynn said, you know, he's prepared to deal with himself and take care of his family. I'm working on it because I hate guns, but I'm about to get 2 or 3 of them just because of where my girl works and her travels, and we're starting this business and everything. I don't want somebody coming to take what I got that I worked for type situation.
Agreed.
But let's go ahead and wrap that part up.
Yes, sir.
And we will see you in the next episode.
So long.
No.